Hey, welcome to Past Gas, everybody. This week we're talking about the Targa Florio. How did a rich guy from Sicily make one of the most iconic races of all time? A lot of Italian in this episode, and it makes me want to go visit Sicily. And isn't that what podcasting is all about? Making you want to go visit other places you've never been before. Let's go to Sicily. It's the Targa Florio right now. Let's go. On an island in the Mediterranean Sea lies an unimaginable racetrack with 6,000 corners and 9,000 feet in elevation change. It winds through mountains dotted with ruins of foregone empires, traces cliffsides with drops that promise certain death, and twists through ancient cities. And this isn't a fantasy or a game. These are the roads of Sicily. And beginning in 1906, they became a global destination for a new kind of adventure, auto racing. Born from the dreams of an aristocrat, the island's death-defying course would attract the most famous names in 20th century sports car competition. Sicily became a proving ground for racers and constructors alike, and the final resting place for a number of drivers and fans. It's where Porsche first took on Ferrari, and fell so in love with the event, they even named a 911 after it, the Targa. How did the streets around Palermo become home to one of the most revered road racing courses in motorsport? How did it help spawn some of the most well-known names in sports cars today? And was it really as deadly of a race as officials claimed? Grab some olives and a glass of wine and settle in for today's episode of Past Gas on the history of the Targa Florio. Welcome back to Past Gas, everybody. My name is Nolan Sykes. This week, as always, not just this week, but across from me, Bart Bidlenmeyer.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
And Joe Weber.
Hey, Paisan! We're talking about my homeland in this one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I keep forgetting you're Italian.
I'm Sicilian.
Sicilian, specifically.
You're more Italian than Italian. You're Sicilian.
No, we don't.
Come on.
We don't
Come on.
like the mainlanders.
We're
Sicilian.
So it's like in Greece, we went to
when you look
Crete.
at Joe, you think Sicily.
No, I look like the most British motherfucker in the world.
Well, that you get those redhead Italians because there was
like Yannick Sinner.
Yeah, so it's because you had the British that came over as they were kind of exploring ages ago. Mm-hmm. The Saxons came into the Mediterranean, and
I think the Romans got up to England before the Saxons got down.
I don't think so.
You want to bet?
Dude, they're talking about how Vikings. There's like Viking ruins.
There was a lot of, but there was a lot
Canada.
of
They were all over the place.
Why don't you guys both tell a story at the same time? Let's all tell stories right at the same time. It's great for audio.
Do you think it was? So you're saying you think that the British influence that came into the Mediterranean was a result of the Roman Empire expanding into the Saxon territory?
I would bet $100 on it.
Okay,
I think it was the Romans
way
up there.
BC.
Yeah.
All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bet $100 the other way, and we'll let you know next time.
Sounds good.
Are we shaking on it?
Bonk. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'll take it alone.
Okay. Was that offensive to say olives and wine in the intro like that?
I mean, it's pretty basic. If you're you could say capers and tuna.
Ooh,
if you really want to get.
I'll take some.
My
tuna.
My great grandpa was a tuna fisherman off the west coast of Sicily.
Dang.
Yeah.
Can I get like a tuna recipe? A Sicilian tuna recipe?
Dude, you just get some fresh tuna. And it's actually counterintuitive because it's better to freeze
Counterintuitive.
Nice. People think, I don't want to buy frozen tuna steaks if I'm doing like sashimi or poke or whatever, or seared tuna. It's actually all of the raw tuna that you eat has been flash frozen because that's the quickest way to kill any bacteria in it. So buy some frozen tuna and let it thaw out and sear it with some nice cracked pepper crust and then do little arugula lemon parmesan salad. There you go.
I'm getting so hungry now.
Get some
capers too.
Hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs.
Some sliced up.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Big thank you to our sponsor this week, Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/gas. Go to shopify.com/gas. Once again, that's shopify.com/gas. Thank you, Shopify. Big thank you to our sponsor this week, Hims. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/gas. Again, that's hims.com/gas for your free online visit. hims.com/gas. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Now back to the show.
So we're talking about the Targa Florio today.
Yes.
We mentioned Porsche and we mentioned Ferrari, but this has been going on since like 1905 or some like
06,
a long time.
06.
I liked in the intro it said it's unimaginable because it wasn't imagined and created. You know what I mean? It just became.
Yeah.
Like it existed and then they just drove on it.
The Targa Florio itself has shown up in at least 100 Past Gas
I would say
episodes
so.
at this point. We mentioned
anytime
it
we
all the
mention
time.
Ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, sure. Hey, man. I'm sure you've got some accurate information to give me when I ask this question.
Do you know where ChatGPT gets most of its knowledge? Like starting from
No, I don't.
Sawyer Silverman.
the top sources are Reddit number 1,
Oh, great.
YouTube number 2.
Oh, good. Good.
Wait, who? Is that true?
Yes.
We know that.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
All right, let's get into this Targa Florio. For millennia, Sicily was a place to conquer. At one time or another, the Sicilians were ruled. Yeah, I know, it's a hell of a way to start.
It's
Hell
been
of a
conquered
place
a
to
lot.
conquer.
Yeah, at one time or another, Sicilians were ruled by the Greeks, Romans, Spanish, Arabs, and Normans. But in the early 1800s...
Just some guy named Norm. Hey. A bunch of Normans.
Norm MacDonald.
Hey. That's ties with thick glasses. You are now ruled by the Normans. Get out your computers and calculators.
That's like a Far Side comic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Gary Larson would have cooked with that. But in the early 1800s, some 50 years before Italy officially gained control of the state, a new dynasty took root, one born from within, that would build up the culture, the arts, and the economy of the idyllic island. Meet the Florio family. In 1807, 8-year-old Vincenzo Florio inherited his father's spice shop. With an uncle's help, he grew it into a prominent business in the heart of Sicily's capital, Palermo. Vincenzo expanded into wine and took leaps into shipping, mining, fishing, and canning. The burgeoning empire eventually fell onto the shoulders of his son, Ignazio, who grew it successfully before leaving it to his sons, Ignazio Jr. and another Vincenzo Florio.
It's not confusing at all.
Okay, so born in Palermo on March 18th, 1883, Vincenzo II is the young aristocrat who sits at the heart of our tale.
Like the lava in Mount Etna.
Oh.
I don't know. That's corny.
Well, a little local flavor.
I'm trying to paint the picture.
Yeah, please do. While brother Ignazio strived to keep the family businesses afloat, Vincenzo seemed more keen on floating on the family's yachts. Through his lavish travels, he discovered a newfangled contraption that was taking Europe by storm in the late 1890s. Vincenzo discovered cars. A fateful trip to Paris led him to a shop selling De Dion motor tricycles. Intrigued, he bought one of these and had it shipped to Sicily.
Someone else did a motor trike that we've talked about, remember? Where it was like, that was also another car person's introduction.
I think it
to
might have
racing.
been Porsche. Ferdinand Porsche.
Was it Ferdinand?
Might have been.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
De Dion was one of the early pioneers, and I think a lot of startups used their motors.
Okay.
especially Italian ones.
Unfortunately, though, there was no gasoline to power the machine on the entire island. Vincenzo sent out cables seeking fuel, so he's like just sending pretty much to anyone that'll listen. And before long, a shipment of gasoline arrived, allowing him to take in
That's
the
just
full
how it
joy.
worked then. You just send out a cable and something shows up.
Yeah.
That's pre-Amazon. That's how they did it.
All right, we got to let Nolan get one sentence
I'm
out.
sorry.
And before long, a shipment arrived, allowing him to take in the full joy of his purchase. But the thrill of puttering around the island on his own soon wore off. And so Vincenzo decided to organize a race. There was just one problem. He owned the only motorized vehicle on Sicily. When racing bicyclists and horses didn't pan out, he looked elsewhere to get a fix for his newfound need for speed. He established an automobile racing team with pioneering driver Felice Nazzaro. Starting in 1900, he helped fund one of Italy's first official races, the Brescia Motor Week in northern Italy. After a third-place finish there in 1904, Vincenzo put up the entire 50,000 lira prize and the trophy for the next year's race, which led it to being renamed the Coppa Florio, or Florio Cup.
I think we talked about Nazzaro in a different one, too. Mm-hmm. At least a couple different ones. But I'm sure we're going to hear a bunch of names that we have heard a million times.
Thanks to these races, the Florio name now carried some cachet in early motorsport, and Vincenzo decided it was time to bring a race home to his beloved Sicily. Starting in 1905, Vincenzo began to plot a course along public roads and through the hills around Palermo. During this time, a consolidation of auto races around the globe was occurring, leading to the formation of the first official Grand Prix season for 1906. Vincenzo, determined to have his race placed on the Grand Prix schedule, sent out a call for entries for what was sure to be the best race in Europe. With the help of his friend Henri Desgrange, the director of the Parisian newspaper L'Auto, word spread around the continent. To prepare, Vincenzo financed updates for the roads and constructed stands for onlookers, and even developed new restaurants, hired bands for additional entertainment, and set up aid stations manned by the Red Cross. Ever the promoter, he also added a press room capable of sending international telegraphs.
What if you're accidentally saying something really
racist?
For the grand prize, he commissioned a gold Targa, Italian for shield, to be awarded to the winner of his new race. This led to the race's name, the Targa Florio.
That's awesome.
Very cool. The race did become an official Grand Prix event, with the first scheduled for May 6th, 1906.
Isn't it kind of crazy how Porsche, like nowadays we think of Porsche as, you know, like the ultimate road car. All of their naming came from like the Targa, the Carrera Panamericana, like all these off-road races. I guess the Carrera Panamericana wasn't totally off-road.
But also in the early days of racing,
all the roads are dirt.
It was all off-road. You know, like that was the road.
True.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, out of the 22 cars slated to compete at this first event, only 10 of them reached the starting line thanks to a dock strike in Genoa that stranded a dozen competitors. Genoa.
Right?
Genoa, Maine.
Genoa, Maine.
New Genoa.
Sorry. So the strike stranded a dozen competitors before they could make the journey to Sicily. Still, for Vincenzo Florio, the show had to go on. At 6 a.m., the first car left the seaside starting line, roared down the Buonfanello Strait, and raced into the mountains. Another driver left the line every 15 seconds until all 10 cars, including 5 Italias, 2 Clermont Bayards, 1 Fiat, 1 Hotchkiss, and 1 Bélier, roared onto the treacherous course ahead. The cars screamed around the 92.5-mile circuit for 3 laps, covering just over 277 miles.
That's like a good length race.
It's a good distance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a NASCAR race, like a smaller NASCAR race.
300.
Can you imagine if we had 92-mile
ovals?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of sick.
It's like
Just
banked like crazy.
It's like a super collider.
Yeah. The race was just as much of a test of endurance as it was nerve. The open cockpit race cars subjected the drivers to dirt, wind, and debris while navigating a course that clung to sheer cliffs.
At speeds well over 15 miles an hour.
Each lap was more mentally and physically punishing than the last, with each lap testing skill and will through 2,000 corners and 3,000 feet in elevation change.
Skill, will, thrill, maybe spill.
After a grueling 9 hours, 32 minutes, and 22 seconds, the bang of a cannon greeted Italian driver Alessandro Gagno as he crossed the finish line in an Italia 3540 with an average speed of about 29 miles per hour. He took home the gold plate.
Targa.
Vincenzo had made his dream of a Sicilian race a reality, and it was only just the beginning.
If you look at 9/11, sorry to keep going back to 9/11s, but
I thought you meant the towers.
no, yeah.
Sorry to keep going back to 9/11.
If you would have read my
but
report,
it was an inside job. Did you look at the doc I sent you?
the plate that goes on 9/11 Targas, like it's like almost like a shield on the back of it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to wait till we talked about Porsche, but I'm curious because is it documented that they named it after this course? Or did they call it a Targa top because it's a shield for your brain?
Probably because it's a shield for your brain.
Anyways, like Targa means shield, right?
We'll be right back after these messages.
Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the Add to Cart button on the item that you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button. That shop button has all your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify, and there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/gas. Go to shopify.com/gas. Again, shopify.com/gas. Thank you, Shopify. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check your tire pressure first before off-roading. This is one that'll get you in a real bad spot real fast. You're going over sand like we did when we jumped the Baja Blaster. You slow down for a second. Next thing you know, you're spinning out and your tires are digging you into a hole. Now you've got to dig yourself out by hand in the middle of the desert. Better have extra water. Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Now back to the show.
The very next year, the grid exploded from 10 drivers to 45.
Whoa.
In this era, the primary classification for vehicles had to do with price, weight, and production numbers. Homologation rules were in effect, with at least 10 copies of a vehicle needing to be produced for a car to be eligible. This was no small feat in the early days of racing, and by 1909, the rules were scrapped altogether. Instead, Florio and organizers opted for a quote-unquote free formula, which placed vehicles of any weight or engine size in a single class. That year, Vincenzo Florio had his best finish in the race, crossing the line in second. But the classless experiment lasted only 2 years, and following...
It's just funny. It's classless.
Yeah.
It's class.
This experiment's classless.
And
Get it together.
You're letting the beast of Turin in? That's classless.
And following the 1911 race, another concern erupted on the island. Critics thought the race involved too much around Palermo. What about the rest of Sicily?
Start your own race, you idiots.
The answer to that question was bold. In 1912, Vincenzo unveiled a new circuit, the Giro di Sicilia, or Tour of Sicily. The race consisted of a single 608-mile lap around the entire island and was won for the first time by a non-Italian driver, an Englishman named Cyril Snipe. Alongside his co-driver, remembered only as Pedrini, Snipe guided his Scat 3540 to victory over 26 other cars in 24 hours, 37 minutes, and 39 seconds.
I have no context. Is that fast?
Well, 608 miles in 24 hours.
What was the range on that?
I don't know. They probably had to stop a lot, huh?
Yeah. Like, where are you getting gas?
I don't know.
Maybe you have a support vehicle.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But even that, 600 miles.
They must have been like gas stations around. They would have thought of that.
I hope so.
You know?
It's a weird concept to wrap my head around, the way we have pits and whatnot now.
Yeah.
I bet they had, like
stations. And
stations.
then you go
If it
so
was-
far and everybody stops. And I don't know.
and they'll time you from stop to stop like rally style.
But it's one 600 something mile lap.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The early years of the Targa Florio saw the occasional mishap, but they were mostly tame until the first major catastrophe struck in 1914. Just 9 miles after the start of the race, French driver Demise lost control of his Caesar and struck one 8-year-old Giuseppe Cordova.
Oh.
The tragic death of the young fan marked the first loss of life at the Targa, and sadly, it wouldn't be the last.
That sucks.
In this era, the Coppa Florio ran on the island the week after the Targa. And the Coppa that immediately followed the 1914 Targa, residents angered by the young boy's death hurled rocks at drivers and screamed at them to leave. The uproar likely could have ended racing on the island forever, but instead, it was the outbreak of World War I just months later that put a halt on racing. Ever the patriot, Vincenzo himself signed up to be a volunteer driver in the Great War. He even funded at least one tracked truck for munitions transport throughout mountainous regions. Peace finally returned to Europe in November of 1918, and the Targa followed a year later with a new 67-mile circuit. Among the entrants was a young man just starting his racing career, one Enzo Ferrari.
I know I heard of that name before.
Are you a vampire?
No, I'm doing Italian.
Blah, Italian, blah, pasta.
Basta.
However, the outcome of the race did not foreshadow his later success, as Enzo retired with a fuel leak. When he returned...
Draculini.
Draculini, my favorite pasta. Blah.
When Enzo returned in 1920...
You like the spaghetti with blood sauce?
When Enzo returned... When Enzo returned in 1920, he ripped to a second-place finish in his Alfa Romeo, launching a 20-year affiliation with the brand. Enzo competed in the Targa as a driver just once more in 1921, finishing in 5th place. Yet his connection to Sicily was just beginning. Like so many others, he understood that the island was the ultimate proving ground. For drivers, racing managers, designers, and engineers, the Targa Florio was the race to win if you wanted to prove your worth.
Do you guys know that they used to be, like, the mainland Italy and Sicily used to be connected?
There by a land bridge.
A land bridge, and then the seas rose enough to wash it out. But I think it was like 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. There was a land bridge.
Gotcha.
There's also a village of people who have incredibly high cholesterol that it's like a genetic trait. And when cholesterol became like a test, doctors were like, how is this village not dead?
Yeah.
And it's lent into a new understanding of human genetics and what HDLs and LDLs mean in relationship to health.
This is in Sicily?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
I believe. Could be another. I mean, there's a lot of Mediterranean islands. But also sometimes it's like, oh, do the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is it the diet or is it pockets of genetics?
So is that
I don't think
Turkish
it's
food,
the
or is
diet,
that-
dude. When we took our cooking class on Crete, like they put like the woman who was teaching us how to like make dolmades and like
tomatoes.
Tomates. And but like it was literally like a cup.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
cup, 2 cup, 3 cups of olive oil and everything. I just didn't understand. You know, it was delicious though.
It ends up being really good.
Yeah. A year after taking over as the head of the design office at Daimler Motor Gesellschaft, engineer Ferdinand Porsche debuted a new Mercedes racing car, the 126 horsepower supercharged 2-liter compressor. German racing driver Christian Werner drove the nimble, potent machine to victory in the 1924 race, with the model taking second and third as well. A 1-2-3 finish. Nice. Just for the second time, a non-Italian won the race, and the Germans had done so in a massive display of power and skill. The sensationalism continued into 1925 when Ettore Bugatti brought a Type 35 to Sicily for an ultimate test of endurance, and the result was pure dominance.
We saw a couple of these up at Monterey.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the Type 35.
Nice. Is that the little one?
Yeah, it's a little by.
Is that the little one? The little one?
Yeah.
But I think it had a pretty big engine.
Because they got the big one, and then they had a little one.
Oh, you do like cars.
I think it was big for the time, but it's little now.
Little now, I see. Oh, yeah, there is. Oh, it is a little one, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little guy. Looks tiny, actually. I'd look ridiculous in that. Okay. Bugatti's Matteo Constantini crossed the finish line more than 5 minutes ahead of second place, a commanding victory on Sicily's winding course. The following year, Bugatti arrived with a purpose-built machine, the Type 35T. The T for...
Tagliatelle.
For Targa, Joe. Targa Florio.
Shit.
Constantini repeated his win, this time with Bugatti teammates rounding out the podium behind him. Unfortunately, though, the victory was overshadowed by sorrow when Giulio Maserati became the first driver to die in the competition after wrecking on the mountainous roads.
Yeah, still got a record.
Do you want to...
That's
I'm sorry.
Bugatti returned in 1927 when Emilio Materassi snagged another win for the team. But the bigger story was on the starting grid. For the first time, a woman joined the field. What? Ališka Junkova, a Czech driver who had already earned the nickname Queen of the Steering Wheel.
That's sick.
That's sick. For her performances across Europe. At a time when women weren't even allowed to drive in some parts of Europe, she was battling the best men in the sport, and she often won. Junkova was known for her dedicated study of every twist and turn of a course prior to a run.
What a concept.
And she took the same approach to Sicily.
I don't want to say this the wrong way, and I want to say it in a way that says men are stupid.
Okay.
Because
So
we
careful.
often are.
Careful.
But like,
There's a lot of men
the
listening.
The fact that it's like, she what? She studied the course? It's like, yeah, of course, man.
Yeah. That's like what you do.
Like that's yeah. Sorry.
Her run at the 1927 Targa in a private Bugatti was cut short by a broken steering gear, but she returned the next year in 28 to an eager crowd excited to see her drive again.
Do you think the crowd is all going like,
Yeah.
Ališka?
Queen of the steering wheel, not queen of the steering gear.
Yeah.
That was her fatal flaw.
She delivered a memorable performance. After spending days running the course in advance of the event, she's pre-running it, basically.
Which is like,
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, all the other guys are like, that's stupid. And then they're like, maybe we should go try it. I guess.
So she took delivery of a brand new black and yellow Bugatti just ahead of race
sick.
day. From early on in the race, her chance of victory was apparent to the fans, other drivers, and Vincenzio Florio himself. Lap after lap, she matched the pace of Bugatti Works drivers Louis Chiron and Albert Devo on the brutal Sicilian roads, proving that her presence was no sideshow.
Well, both of those guys have Bugattis named after them. So where's the Junkova?
Sexism.
Junkova.
So she's proving her presence was no sideshow, it was the show. Despite suffering a puncture on the final lap, she finished in a respectable P5. But in the eyes of the crowd,
I'm assuming the puncture was to a tire?
yes.
Okay.
Not a stab
Not her
wound.
person.
Yeah. But in the eyes of the crowd, she had won the day. Vincenzio even hailed her as the moral winner of the race.
She didn't sexually assault anyone.
Yeah, and recognized the mastery she had shown on the course. Bugatti continued to conquer the race, with Devo earning the gold shield in 1928 and 29. This gave Bugatti 5 straight wins, the first brand to achieve such a feat at the race. But as the decade turned, their reign would come to a close, and a familiar name would rise again. Who could it be? Someone we've already talked about in this story with a familiar name.
Mario Andretti.
Tagliatelle.
Dale Jr.?
Dale Jr.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Guys, I am coming to you live from a hotel room in London, Kentucky to talk to you about our sponsor today, Hims. Confidence shouldn't be complicated. Through Hims, you can skip the guesswork and get access to care that actually fits your lifestyle, straightforward, stress-free, and designed around you. Through Hims, you can access personalized prescription treatment options for ED like hard mints and SexRx plus Climax control if prescribed. Hims offers access to ED treatment options ranging from trusted generics that cost 95% less than brand names to hard mints if prescribed. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. And guys, this isn't just one-size-fits-all care that forgets you in the waiting room. It's your health and goals put first, with real medical providers making sure you get what you need to get results. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self, with 100% online access to trusted treatments for ED and more, all in one place. To get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/gas. That's hims.com/gas for your free online visit. Again, that's hims.com/gas. Thank you, Hims. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Thanks to our sponsor, Hankook Tire, the official tire sponsor of Donut. We at Donut love Hankook. They make tough tires for rough adventures and daily driving without compromising comfort and drivability. And they're great on a wide range of vehicles, from SUVs to light trucks to our very own high truck. And I can hear you at home saying, I'm afraid of driving off-road. I love pavement. Well, Hankook's got you covered too with their Ventus brand of tires, optimized for high-speed driving and stability on your beloved roads. I use them on my Audi A3. I have the Ventus RS4s and they perform really great. Hankook became the official tire sponsor for Donut last year and we have not looked back. We use them on all Donut cars. They've got an aggressive design that not only looks great, but it also protects you from punctures and gives you a grip on sand, gravel, mud, you name it. With Hankook's extensive product family, you're sure to find something that suits your needs. Get your tire journey started at hankooktire.com and see just how far these wheels can take you. That's HANKOOK, hankooktire.com. I gotta call my wife.
Now back to the show.
In November 1929, Enzo Ferrari formed his racing team Scuderia Ferrari. Ultimately, he prepped and provided Alfa Romeo race cars and offered consulting and support for gentleman drivers. It went well. So well, in fact, that by the 1930 Targa Florio, he was entering cars on behalf of Alfa Romeo's works team, Alfa Corse. That year, Achille Varzi drove the Alfa Romeo P2 to victory, besting Louis Chiron by 2 minutes and preventing Bugatti from taking another win. It was the first victory of an impressive 6-year streak for Alfa, who contracted Scuderia Ferrari to become their official works team in 1933. But the era of Italian dominance was far from over. Enter Maserati. In 1935, engineer Ernesto Maserati unveiled the Tipo 6CM. At first glance, the Tipo looked like any other single-seater at the time, but under its skin, it was a revolution. Its 1.5-liter supercharged straight six delivered up to 175 horsepower.
Oh.
The chassis carried torsion bar front suspension with adjustable tension, which was a technological breakthrough that let teams fine-tune the car for different circuits. Add in aerodynamic bodywork, and Maserati outclassed its rivals in nearly every way. The results spoke for themselves. At the Targa Florio in 1937 and 38, the 6CM swept the podium. In 1939, it won again. And in 1940, Luigi Villoresi drove Maserati's next creation, the 4C, to a fourth consecutive victory. That's sick.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to look like a car.
Starting to look like cars now, yeah.
Also, Nolan's like, can we just get to the second war so I can stop saying these names?
Well, with that, the bombs began
You made it,
to
Nolan.
fall. With the outbreak of World War II, the Targa Florio and international racing itself was brought to a sudden halt. As soldiers became veterans after World War II, auto racing skyrocketed in popularity. This led to a number of new organizations taking shape, many of which we've talked about on the show, including NASCAR for American stock car racing, Formula One for open wheel racing, and the NHRA to regulate drag racing. In Sicily, the Targa Florio roared back to life. At the first post-war Targa in 1948, a one-year-old car company with a familiar name showed up on the starting line.
A 1-year-old baby showed up on the starting line.
I thought that's where I was going. That company was called
Tesla.
Ferrari.
Oh, shit.
It's called Ferrari, sporting a prancing horse badge. The Model 166S, driven by Clemente Biondetti and Igor Trubetskoy, attacked the revived island tour circuit for 12 hours and 10 minutes, leading to Ferrari's first victory in the Sicilian race. It was no fluke. Biondetti and new co-driver Aldo Benedetti repeated in 1949 in a Ferrari 166 SC. Here's what the Ferrari looks like. That is a way grainier photo than I was anticipating. The dominance of the Modena sports car company only grew. By the end of 1953, Ferrari was standing at the very top of global endurance racing with an overall win in the inaugural season of the FIA World Sports Car Championship. At first, the Targa Florio wasn't included on the championship calendar, but in 1955 that changed, and the Sicilian race became the deciding battle for the year. Stirling Moss is having a career year with Mercedes in 1955, taking the checkers at the Mille Miglia and the British Grand Prix. Have we talked about the Mille Miglia before? I know we've mentioned it many times. I don't know if we've done a full episode.
We went into depth on the Ferrari episode.
Okay.
But not really
As its own character.
Gotcha. But the tragedy of the 24 Hours of Le Mans halted their points run, forcing the team into a three-way fight for the constructor title with Ferrari and Jaguar. And it all came down to the Targa Florio. That year's entry list was stacked with figures who would shape the future of motorsport, including Carroll Shelby driving a Ferrari.
Wow.
Sterling Moss shared a Mercedes 300 SLR with fellow Brit Peter Collins, and lined up against other legendary drivers, including Juan Manuel Fangio, Maria Teresa De Filippi, and John Fitch, who we've talked about recently.
Yeah. And actually, when you said Peter Collins, I think during the great train heist, the main character in that story had stolen a car from Peter Collins, like a Jaguar or something like that.
That's right. Because Peter Collins was an F1 driver, or tried to be, right? Yeah, great episode. Check it out. Episode 300. Despite the heavy competition, when the dust from the mountain roads settled, Britain's best stood at the top of the podium. Mercedes had won the championship, with Ferrari falling into second. The battle between the prancing horse and the Germans was heating up, but it wasn't Mercedes that posed the biggest threat in the Italian race. When Ferdinand Porsche passed away in 1951, his son Ferry carried the torch, which you can hear all about in our 3-part series on Porsche. Very intriguing stuff.
And actually, they are a horse too. They're a prancing horse. Isn't there a horse on their badge?
There is a horse.
But it's not prancing.
And then there's like antlers and stuff on the other side. Not really.
A horse with antlers. Now I've seen everything.
That's a deer.
That's a deer.
That's a deer. That's a deer, man. To build the family business, Ferry returned to racing, and the Targa Florio became a primary point of interest. In 1956, Porsche sent their first official entry, the 550A RS Spider, driven by Italian ace Umberto Maglioli. By then, the Targa had shifted to the Piccolo circuit, which was relatively short at just 45 miles per lap and only had a meager 900 corners.
What?
To put that in perspective, 3 laps of Germany's legendary Nürburgring Nordschleife puts a driver through just over 500 turns. The Piccolo was shorter, yes, but the Targa Florio was just as brutal with 10 to 14 lap races.
I bet it's set up for the queen of the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Porsche arrived as the new kid on the block with everything to prove, and Sicily provided the perfect stage. Maglioli drove the little spider to its absolute limits, attacking the course through the mountains and villages.
That'd be a really fun car to do that
I'm
in.
just imagining, like, with all this elevation change and stuff, this is like if there was a race that went down PCH and, like, up Los Flores to the top of Stunt Road. Very local references, I'm sorry. But, like, I drove up it yesterday.
Yeah.
In my truck. Which was kind of, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do that, but look, the 405.
Oh no! Well, while I'm here.
Well, no, because my wife was in the car and she doesn't like driving fast on the side of a mountain like that, like I do. So we took it pretty slow, but I was like, dude, it'd be a perfect rally stage. But if you were like really hauling ass through there, like that, make one mistake, you're kind of dead.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining that.
And
no guardrails.
You're burnt bread, buddy.
You're burnt bread, and I don't want to be burnt bread.
No. You want to live a long life.
I do. I want to have a long shelf life. Lots of preservatives in me. Give me a shelf life of like a Twinkie or something.
That's how in the Vietnam War they were able to identify dead American soldiers because of how much preservatives they had eaten, and their bodies would last longer in the forest.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't
that morbid?
I think that deserves some scrutiny. If not now.
Yeah, I looked it up on Reddit. It's true.
I looked it up. I asked ChatGPT.
Don't trust Reddit or YouTube. Trust ChatGPT.
Maglioli drove the little spider to its absolute limits, attacking the course through the mountains and villages. Against 50 other cars, he triumphed, earning a solo victory in 7 hours and 54 minutes. Back-to-back German wins.
I really wanted to do a bunch of like New Kids on the Block lines there.
Yeah.
And I realized I couldn't think of any. And the one that came to my mind was, and then they said, bye, bye, bye. And then I was like, that's not them.
Well, when Nolan reads these facts,
Porsche,
girl, it's true.
Porsche became the Backstreet Boys at the entrance of, okay, now I can do some.
Now I understand. Back-to-back German wins left the Italians fuming. This was their race, and they aimed to take it back. Fiat struck first, winning the Shield the next year, and Ferrari followed in 1958. And for race founder Vincenzio Florio, the Italian dominance at his race was the perfect farewell before he passed away in early 1959 at the age of 75.
Oh, that's a good life.
That's pretty decent. Between 1956 and 73, Ferrari. I don't know how old I want to get.
Oh, Christ.
I don't know if you have a choice.
I know.
I mean, you do kind of have a choice.
You just got done talking about how long you want to be preserved.
Yeah. Well, that's different. That's very different. Put me in a jar with some formaldehyde. Put me on a wall in a high school science class.
Yeah. Good Lord. Imagine walking into your high school
jar and I'm just there
just seeing like a floating Nolan body.
You're someone who's going to thrive after 55.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
So
I've been 56
soak it up.
for 30 years.
That should be the next donut shirt. Thrive after 55. And then a picture of Nolan's
I can
face.
thrive
and he's
55.
Old, and he's going like past a speed limit 55.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like
he's going way
and
above the
like
ham limit right now.
There's a new ham comic that dropped today where he's driving an EV. It's a ham EV.
And that's just that's it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I gotta say, those Heathcliff comics do bring joy to me.
I know. It's the dumbest
really
thing in the
do.
world. It really it clears your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my head and my face are perfectly suited to becoming a grandpa.
To wear the ham helmet that Heathcliff wears. It's the same ham limit too.
Yeah.
The EV ham barely makes a sound.
Ham limit 25. Caption. Yeah, what Bart just said. The electric ham. I can't.
It's car humor.
I can't.
It's for car guys. Car guys.
You wouldn't know. It's too strike zone, Nolan.
It's too cerebral for you. All right. Between 1956 and 1973, Ferrari and Porsche traded wins, with only 2 of those years being won by their manufacturers. Wow. This fierce rivalry spurred tons of innovations and saw numerous incredible iconic race cars, including Porsche's 718, 904, 907, 908, and 910, and Ferrari's 250 Testarossa, 246 SP, and, of course, the 312 PB, we all know. Peanut butter guts.
PB don't mean Pottstown Barbarian.
What the is that?
It's from an old commercial for a short-lived candy bar called PB Max. It had it was kind of had a Rice Krispie outside.
I do remember
and
the
peanut
PB
butter.
Max.
Yeah, and it said PB don't mean pot-bellied pig. PB means peanut butter. Yeah. PB don't mean penguins bowling.
Throughout this 18-year run, Porsche snagged first place 11 times, and Ferrari took 5. Porsche's run earned them the most constructor titles at the race in its entire history. The success of the event even spawned the Porsche 911 Targa, which first debuted in 1965, and to this day provides the general public with a not-so-subtle reminder of Porsche's dominance over the Sicilian roads. I wonder how many guys wearing polos driving these cars to their office know that. Yeah.
Well, you know they eat tuna. Seared. If you remember from our Porsche episode, the Targa was made because
Out of tuna.
there was going to be they thought there was going to be a ban on convertibles in the U.S., which was their biggest market. So they're like, well,
They
let's
hedged
make
their
a
bet.
kind of a fake convertible, where you take 2 tops off.
It's the shield for your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Targa.
Unfortunately, the last years of Porsche's reign were marred by one disaster after another. The 1971 running saw the death of Alpine Renault driver Fulvio Tandois and a number of other major accidents. On lap 1, Brian Redmond's works Porsche crashed and caught fire, leaving him badly burned. Later in the race, Alain de Cadenet was seriously injured in a crash, and Nino Todaro injured a spectator when his Alfa flew into a ravine. In 1973, the Targa's safety issues reached a boiling point. Prior to the race even starting, Briton Charles Blythe died after he crashed his Lancia into a Fiat 110, pulling a trailer loaded with another racer's Porsche 911S while on public roads.
That's a lot of cars. So the
British guy, Charles was driving his Lancia
right
into a Fiat 110.
And the Fiat was towing
A 911?
911S.
Interesting.
A Fiat was towing a 911.
I think it's probably a truck or something.
Was he going the ham limit?
Then during the race, an Alpine Renault struck a group of spectators, killing one Giuseppe Bono. During the race, separate crashes led to serious injury of 2 or more drivers and 5 additional spectators. It's getting out of hand.
Well, it's getting faster.
Following the disaster-filled running, the FIA dropped the Targa Florio from its World Championship schedule over safety concerns. It remained a national race until the 1977 event, at which another 2 spectators lost their lives. A series of additional accidents during that year's running led to local police intervening and stopping the race before the checkered flag ever flew. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Was it truly as deadly as it was made out to be? All told, between 1906 and 1977, a total of 9 people died during the island race, including 5 drivers and 4 spectators, who were coincidentally all named Giuseppe.
What?
All the spectators.
That's Italian for Joseph.
Joe is short for Joseph.
This is
Just don't go around this track.
yeah.
That's
true,
that's
true,
my
true.
advice to you, Joe.
But kayak.com has deals for Sicily going on right now.
Despite being a relatively low toll compared to similar events, for example, more than 50 died in the 30-year history of the Mille Miglia, Sicilian officials had seen enough. After 71 years, it appeared that the Targa Florio was finished.
Oh.
I mean, to your point, Joe, like the cars are getting faster and faster and faster, and it sounds like maybe the roads too weren't like. I'm not imagining a lot of guardrails and like runoff area,
Literal or figurative.
It is crazy. Like for an event to be canceled in the 70s means that it was getting out of hand. I think.
This is a little off topic, but there's old footage of Groupie that I had never seen before of a race in Portugal, and you know how like the crowds would just cinch in on the track. People would try to touch the car, and at one of the rally stops, someone opened up the rear hood and there were 2 fingers in there. So someone had grabbed the car, the boot, and it just ripped their fingers off.
I mean, look at this. So this is footage from the 76 running right here. And like these are like full on.
Yeah, those are fast
full
cars.
Those
on.
are late 70s is when things were starting
So
to
it's like that's like a Can-Am car right there, basically. Going on a road that like you would try to drive your rental on during vacation, right?
Yeah.
Like this is crazy.
There's that Rothman's 911.
Not to say it's not beautiful.
It's
really
so cool. But also, yeah, I could see why they'd cancel it. That's a Can-Am car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's you see it bouncing up and down too. This is not like a level road.
That's so cool. Look at that thing, dude.
Wow. Skirting a little,
That's
sliding out.
The race didn't end, but it was a new beginning. In 1978, the event returned as a race on the Italian Rally Championship calendar. The format had changed, but the name lived on. To this day, it runs as an official continuation of the Targa Florio and follows many of the same roads as the original race. Okay, so it's still doing it. They're still doing it.
It's not part of the bigger rally calendar, though.
But it's part of the Italian Rally Championship. It's not like
Yeah.
WRC, but Italian Rally Championship.
If I remember correctly,
The Italian Rally Overland Championship, or IROC, is
Yeah, I was trying to
still
do
currently being
another
run.
pun. IRC.
Further tribute is paid with a time, speed, distance, regularity rally staged annually for 4 vehicle classes. You have pre-77 cars, those built between 78 and 2000. You have GT cars built from 2000 to current day, and a Ferrari tribute class reserved for Ferrari cars produced from 2001 onwards.
That's cool. That's like Car Week at Laguna.
Yeah. A pre-77 class in particular presents a fantastic opportunity to witness the Targa Florio as it may have looked during its glory days. So get out to Sicily, check that out. That'd be cool. As a stage for reigns and rivalries, thrill and heartbreak, the Targa Florio drew the biggest names in motorsport across its 71-year run. Though Vincenzio Florio himself called it the, quote, slowest race in the world, after all, average speeds never exceeded 80 miles per hour, it was never just about speed. It was a test of resilience, skill, and heart. For Vincenzio, it was his love letter to Sicily and about pushing the limits of what was possible. Today, the race lives on in multiple formats, honoring his request to, quote, continue my work because I created it to challenge time.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a cool quote.
That is a cool quote.
It's like you getting older.
Yeah. Which I think about.
All right, gun to your head, Bart. What car are you taking on the Targa Florio?
Ooh.
Maserati.
A 2007 Gran Turismo?
I don't know. What are you taking on it?
I think I'd do a Porsche 911 Targa.
It's a great pick.
I think,
I would do
for
like
the heritage there too, the Targa.
Yeah, I do the 70s generation though.
I'm looking at the Miata picture and
Ooh,
thinking that'd be
Miata's a
pretty
good one.
fun because it's not a fast course. You
No,
know?
yeah.
I'm driving the Lancia 037.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's my pick.
Those are all great picks.
All right. That is the story of the Targa Florio, and I'm glad we covered it. It's cool that it's still running, sort of, in different forms these days. Go ahead and check out some vintage Targa Florio footage. It's pretty fascinating.
It looks really cool.
Go to Sicily.
Go to Sicily.
There's got deals on kayak.com.
Go to Santa Lia, see where my grandpa was born, and eat some seafood and capers and whatever you want to eat.
And check out Joe's family's Sicilian restaurant in Milwaukee. Sala. Some of the best food I've ever had in my life. No joke. All right. So thank you so much for listening. Follow Bart at BidsBardo on social media. Follow Joe at Joe G. Weber. Follow me at Nolan J. Sykes if you'd like. Big thank you to our writer this week, Brian Corey. And big thanks to our crew, as always, Audrey and Mark behind the camera there. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Ciao.